Hello and welcome friends. I am going to discuss few of the things in this particular module which are pertaining to essentiality of the horizontal, vertical and angle measurements in land surveying. This particular content I have designed to have some specific outcome such as first, the student will be able to recognize essentiality of the measurement in land surveying. 2. Explain basic measurements and methods used in surveying. And third one is to state appropriateness of method and equipment. So the essentiality of the surveying measurement goes with the basic objective of surveying. As you know, the basic objective of the surveying is to prepare some kind of a drawing. It could be plan, it could be sketch, it could be map. Hence, it is required in order to plan, design as well as to execute various engineering projects. Surveyors are the first people on any construction site to measure and to map the land. These primary measurements are then used by number of agencies, maybe various engineers, architects and such service providers. This is a very useful tool for land development as well as division and subdivision of various lands. It is essential in common term to design all the essential services for infrastructure. As a part of surveying, we deal with 4 basic measurements. First one is horizontal distance. Second one is vertical distance. Third one is vertical angle. Fourth one is horizontal angle. So let's try to understand what do we mean by this horizontal distance. The ground is always undulating in nature. The dimension that we wish to have may not be always horizontal. Whenever we deal with surveying operations, this horizontal is defined with respect to vertical. Vertical direction is defined by direction of the gravity. And any plane which is perpendicular to this particular direction given by the gravity is nothing but the horizontal plane. Hence, we wish to have this particular horizontal distance measured in horizontal plane. In order to do so, whatever the dimension that we measure along the slope, along the undulations, we reduce it to the horizontal plane. It is also the shortest distance between the 2 stations along a straight line. So here, as shown here in the sketch, we don't wish to have this zigzag manner distance, but it should be the shortest possible distance in between 2 given stations. We can make use of direct methods, optical methods, EDM methods, approximate methods, conventional methods, as well as precise methods for measuring the basic measurements in surveying. Here, the direct methods are employed directly. They are meant to give the output directly. Optical methods are mostly computing some parameters, and as such, the distance is measured indirectly. EDM methods are based on the computations made with respect to the propagation of electromagnetic waves. Here, whenever we say conventional methods, that are methods routinely employed for ordinary works, there is a need to employ some checks on the dimensions measured. Hence, there are certain check surveys. As well as we go with the principle of surveying, there is a need to establish horizontal as well as vertical control. And in order to do so, what we need is nothing but precise methods for surveying measurements. Just to understand a few of the things, I am trying to elaborate more. So here conventionally, we can make use of this particular direct method. Say for example, we can make use of certain steel tape or chain in order to measure the horizontal distance. So here these steel tapes chains could be of variety of the natures. We will be discussing that in the subsequent lectures, but here these equipment are meant for giving direct result. Whereas here what you see is nothing but some optical method which is based on taking reading on some graduated means with respect to some reference reticle, and accordingly here we reduce that ultimately to these particular horizontal distances. Similarly, here what you see is certain angular measure with respect to certain standard length, as it is called subtence bar. So here all these particular stadia methods or subtence bar methods are based on optical methods, and these are indirect methods as such. Even we can go for approximate methods. A few of the methods I have listed here. First one is very simple, that is method of pacing. We are expected to walk along the distance that is to be measured. We have to take reference to the average pace length, maybe 60 centimeters, 70 centimeters, 75 centimeters. It will vary from person to person. It will also vary from terrain to terrain. So accordingly, here the distance would be given by number of steps covered into the pace length or step length. Now walking along a line is monotonous job, and hence there is some electromechanical portable instrument known as passometer which counts the number of paces through body movement. Even there is certain similar equipment called as pedometer which detects the motion of the person's hands. Even we can make use of odometer or speedometer that are provided to with any vehicle as electromechanical means, and hence we can have the distances approximately measured. There is one standard equipment which is called as measuring wheel. So here we can just move this particular measuring wheel along the line to be measured. So it will count the number of rotations. So based on the circumference and number of rotations, the distance will be digitally displayed, or even one can count it mechanically. So these are certain approximate methods to express the horizontal distances. Electromagnetic distance measurement equipment, abbreviated as EDM, it is based on the propagation of electromagnetic wave. It is useful for difficult terrains and to measure the long distances. It is basically based on the time taken to reach the target and reflect back of electromagnetic wave. Depending on the kind of the electromagnetic energy the equipment employs, the equipment could be categorized as microwave equipment, laser equipment, or infrared equipment, and accordingly. Here, based on the range of the operation and the category of the equipment we employ, we can have the distance measurement like 3 to 5 kilometers or even 30 to 50 kilometers in the fraction of the seconds. The second basic measurement is vertical distance. As we discussed previously while discussing this horizontal distance measurement, vertical distance is to be measured in the direction of the gravity, which is nothing but vertical line. So here, as you see, station A and B are connected by certain sloping line. The sloping distance is projected in the horizontal plane to express it as horizontal distance, whereas as we consider the horizontal plane passing through station A, as we consider the horizontal plane passing through station B, the vertical ordinate in between is nothing but vertical distance. So it can be considered as shortest distance between two level surfaces in vertical plane. This particular measurement is essential to have elevation height, or also called as reduced level of a particular station. This can also be directly measured as well as it can also be indirectly measured. There are variety of equipment in order to measure this particular vertical distance. We can make use of tape, we can make use of level. There are variety of these particular levels. We can make use of theodolite, even there are category of theodolite. We can make use of tachometer or auto reduction tachometer, or even the total station as such. As we proceed further, all the range of the equipment will be discussing under different headings. Next, third and fourth basic measurement is horizontal and vertical angle measurement. Let's focus on simply this particular brown part. As we tried to discuss initially, we firstly define the direction of the gravity. Accordingly, any plane perpendicular to that particular direction of gravity is nothing but horizontal plane. So here, as you see, this particular area bound by these two lines is nothing but horizontal plane. Whereas any plane which is perpendicular to it has to be vertical plane. So here, say, this is the position of the equipment. So with respect to certain line of sight, we are making the angle rightward up to the next reference line, and that is called as horizontal angle. Even as we consider the plane which is perpendicular to it, so here with respect to this particular horizontal plane, we are measuring the angle in vertical plane up to this particular line of sight. Hence, it is nothing but angle of elevation. Similarly, with respect to this particular horizontal line, we can take the angle by rotating the telescope in the downward manner, and hence this could be considered as angle of depression. Just to attach some more meaning, this particular vertical angle can also be measured with respect to the zenith, which is the point marked at the top of this vertical axis. We'll be discussing more about such kind of the terminologies as we proceed further. So here, with respect to this particular zenith direction, we can measure the angle. So here what you see is this direction will be referred as 0, and accordingly up to this particular object under consideration, it will be measured as zenith angle. Similarly, here what you see is the angle measured with respect to this particular object under consideration is nothing but again the zenith angle. Essentially, the angles are required for vertical as well as horizontal distances to measure it directly or in indirect manner. The angle measurements are also essential in order to express the grades as well as slopes. The way you see here, this particular station C is established by